Hey, this ain't good, bro. Bro, just look at, you ain't subscribed yet? Look at this guy, man. You ain't right, man. Press the button. Press the button.
So is adultery a sin?
Adultery is only one way. If I'm a single man and another man's wife sleep with me,
She committed adultery.
she's committing adultery, not me.
But you are too.
I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery.
The person that lays with that woman after you put her away, that alone with itself is adultery. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think that your actions alone will be able to show you how to fear God?
Yes.
What do you say? What's your name? Say it again?
Martez.
Martez, what do you think so? How do you fear God? By walking, what about you? What's your name? Denard. How do you fear God?
By actions.
By actions? What about you? Come on, we don't bite. My brother, listen to that.
It's a question. You don't gotta be shy.
Yeah, we trying to build. How do you fear God?
You obey His commandments.
You say obey His commandments. What do y'all say? If you don't know, it's fine. What about y'all? How do you fear God?
So I was raised in a Christian household.
Okay, so many of us were raised in the Christian church, right? Did they teach us how to fear God?
No.
So what did they say? What did they say? Well, hold on. We the ones teaching, bro. Relax. We having a dialogue, all right? What's your name? Ed. We gonna dialogue, all right? We're trying to build here. So the question is, how do we fear God? So does a so-called black man, Hispanic man know how to fear God today? So what is it? Let's go to Psalms 119 and 120 real quick. Because we got to understand, what is it? First, let's figure out what it means to fear God according to the Bible. Because we can come up with all our types of reasons on how to fear God, but if the Bible ain't saying it, then it don't matter. So, for example, you have kids, right? Right here, you got kids? How do you know? Do you want your children to have a healthy fear of you? A healthy fear means a healthy respect. You want your kids to respect you?
My kids don't respect me without fearing me.
A healthy fear means a healthy level of respect, right? That's what that means. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So, for your kids, how do you know your children respect you?
By obeying the rules.
By obeying the rules, right? But if you don't know the rules, how do you obey? You get what I'm saying? We're talking about God here. God has rules, right? Does God have rules?
Yeah.
Does God have rules? What's your name? Say it again. John and Azazaiah. All right. So does God have rules? Y'all agree God has rules?
Yes.
All right. Let's read this.
Psalms chapter 119, verse 120. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee.
So this is King David. He said, "My flesh trembleth for the fear of God." Go ahead.
And I am afraid of thy judgments.
So David said, "I'm afraid of God's judgments." So what does that mean when he said that he's afraid of God's judgments? He's afraid of what God will do to him if he breaks His commandments. So anybody familiar with King David? Anything that he did over his lifetime? He slept with another man's wife and killed him. Am I familiar with that? No? So that's what happened. So is adultery a sin? Is that something that we should be doing?
No.
Sleep with another man's wife or sleep with a woman's husband? Is that something that we should be doing?
Adultery is only one way.
Huh?
Adultery.
Adultery is either way.
No, because that's my thing. If I'm a single man and another man's wife sleep with me,
she committed adultery.
she's committing adultery, not me.
But you are too.
No, I'm not.
Both of you are too.
No, we're not.
Go to Matthew chapter 19.
Go ahead.
Go to Matthew chapter. This is the thing is, our people don't know the Bible.
I don't.
Wait, that's what we're here to teach. It's okay. It's okay. We're here to teach our people the Bible. Matthew 19, what is it, verse 7?
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Let's read that.
Bring it out.
Matthew chapter 19 and verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
So I'm saying if a man puts away his wife, except it be for fornication, meaning she steps out, go ahead.
And shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery.
That's not what I wanted, but either way, the person that lays with that woman after you put her away, that alone in itself is adultery. But either way, that's my point. The topic we're dealing with is fearing God, right? So David said, I fear his judgments, right? He said, I fear his judgments. So the same thing applies to us. How do we know that we fear God? Go to Psalms 111. How do we know that we fear God?
I love this shit.
For us to fear God's judgment, there must be rules that we're breaking, right? So what rules is so-called black man breaking right now? What are some of the rules that the black man is breaking right now? Brother, one second. I'm dealing with everybody. So what rules is a so-called black man not following that God set up? You got something? You said sin? Give me something specific. What are some of the specific things that a so-called black and Hispanic man are not keeping in the black community? Okay, unity. What else? What are we breaking? What rules are we breaking? So you say adultery, murder. What else? Go to Hosea 4. What else? Killing, stealing, not taking care of our kids, sleeping around with a bunch of women. We gotta learn how to be men.
I know.
And by learning how to be men, we have to learn the rules of God and learn how to fear God. There's no other way to stand up as men but by fearing God. That's it. Read that.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 1. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel.
Who are the children of Israel, John? Do you know? Who are the children of Israel? These people on this side right here, all these people you see, these are the children of Israel. You're not African American, you're not black, you're not colored, you're not a Negro, you're not a real nigga. You're an Israelite according to the Bible. Read it.
For the Lord have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
So God says he has a problem with the Israelites. Why does God have a problem with the so-called black and Hispanic man?
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God.
So God says he has a problem with the so-called black man because there's no truth in the land. What's the truth that the black man misses, that he does not have? The Bible. Like you said, you don't read the Bible, right? Why don't you read the Bible? Prior to the day, why don't you read the Bible?
I ain't trusting.
You didn't trust it because you believe that the white man wrote the book, right? What about you? You read the Bible? You do? Sometimes? Why don't you read it all the time? I can't hear you.
I do stuff on a day-to-day basis that, don't read.
Okay, just don't like to read it. Okay, I got you. So God says there's no truth in the land. So what is the truth? The Bible, right? We're missing the Bible. Now we have Bibles all over our houses. Many of us have Bibles in our nightstands. We have them in our beds. We have them holding up the table. We got Bibles everywhere. We got Bibles in our phones. A lot of us have Bibles in our phones but don't even read them. Only when we go to church do we read the Bible. And many times you go to church, they don't even read it. You just listen to the pastor give you a sermon. But the truth of the Bible, the truth of God, the truth of Christ is not given to us in the church. Go ahead.
Because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
So he said there's no mercy. There's no mercy in the land. How do black men and black women lack mercy? How do we lack mercy? How do we lack compassion? Those are all the same things. How do we lack it? Because it's so easy for us to kill each other. It's so easy for me to walk up to a woman, spit game to her, sleep with her, get her pregnant, and leave her. It's easy for the women to lay down with a man, get pregnant, and kick him to the curb, put him on child support, even if he wanted to take care of the kid. There's so many things that we do in the black community that shows we lack mercy. Why? Because we lack the commandments of God. If we understood that we all came here on these slave ships together, if we all understood we got here on these ships together, that we suffered together, that we're oppressed together, that we have more mercy on each other. We understand that all of our people are broken, right? There's reasons why our men act the way they act. There's reasons why the women act the way they act, because they don't have the knowledge of God. Read on.
By swearing, and lying, and killing, and stealing, and committing adultery, they break oath, and blood touches blood.
So God says that blood touches blood because all these things go on in our communities. So how do we fix it? How do we fix these problems in our community? What do you think? Following the commandments. What do you say, John? What about you? What's your name? Morel. What do you say? Commandments? Unity? Okay, unity. I like that. We can get to that in a second. What about you, bro? What's your name? Fred. So how do you think that we're going to change the position of our people in the black community? Are we in a good position right now?
No.
As a people?
No.
Why not? so we're not united. We don't respect one another. How do we unite? Because the Black Panthers tried it. Martin Luther King tried it. Malcolm X tried it. All these different activists tried to unite our people, right? They tried. And it got us to a particular point where we're able to teach freely, we're able to speak freely, right? But that's where it stopped. We still get shot down in the streets. We still kill each other. We still sell drugs. We still treat each other the wrong ways. So what is it that's going to unite us? Because they couldn't do it. Whatever they was teaching didn't fix us. So what are we missing? How do we unite? Huh?
Too late for us. Gotta go to the kids.
You said it's too late for us? You say so it's too late for you to change?
Everybody.
It's not too. Say it again. Don't stop trying. But what do we got to try with? Because we tried the Christian church. Is the Christian church helping us? There's churches on every block, right? There's a church on one corner right here, corner right here, corner right here, corner right here, right? There's churches on this church right there, right? So if there's churches around, that's their whole purpose of having a church is to build up the people and teach the people how to a sense of morality, right? How to walk right, how to follow God. But you see the most lack of morality in the black community, right? So the church is not doing nothing for us. So the way that MLK came with, it don't work. So what else? What else are we gonna try?
Separation.
Separation from what?
White people.
From white people. Okay. So how do we get up under the white people? Let's examine that first. Go to Deuteronomy 28:48. So how do we get under the white people in the first place?
God gave them dominion over.
So how are we gonna separate what God put there?
How you separate?
And what do you mean by separating from them? Let's say that. Because I agree to you to an extent.
Right.
How do we separate from them?
Right. So if Pharaoh won't let us go, right? You need Moses, right?
Right.
You need Moses. You need Aaron, right?
So how are we gonna separate from the white man? Though?
You gotta pick somebody.
He already picked people. The men that you see right here are the people that he picked. The men that we're looking at right here are the people that he picked.
Say we the people in the
Y'all the people that he picked.
We the people in the tent.
You the people that he picked. God says we're a royal priesthood, a nation of leaders. All the men that's out here are leaders. It's just that you guys have not learned who you are yet. That's the only thing that's left. Many of us were on this side of the sign at one point. It's just that we learned who we were, we changed, and we came and we taught our people. So you are the people that God's looking for. Right? So now it's about coming back to who you are. So now when we say separate from the white man, in what way can we separate?
Keep our dollars to ourselves.
Okay? That's it?
Oh yeah, there's more.
So you keep your dollar to yourself, right? But you still got black people that are covetous, they're envious, they're jealous of each other. They want to make sure they look better than the next man. They kill each other over status. So you may separate from the white man, but you still have enemies amongst you. So it doesn't matter if you separate from them. There's some other level of separation that has to happen. Let me read this verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So God says because we broke God's commandments, he said, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. We're supposed to follow the covenant that God gave us. He said, because you didn't want to do that,
which the Lord, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So because we didn't listen to God, he said we'd have to serve our enemies. Go ahead.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent those enemies against us? The Lord. So God ordained for this Arab man in here to be serving gas to us. God ordained this Arab man to serve gas to us. All these different Coney Islands stores that we see, God ordained those people to be over us. Go ahead.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So for all these things, all the basic necessities, God set other people over us to give it to us. Because prior to that, God gave us everything. He gave us food, he gave us rain, he gave us everything we needed to survive. But because we didn't worship him, he said, I'm going to give another nation to give it to you. It is not going to be as sweet as it is if I gave it to you. Because God gave it to us. There was no punishment. It was not rough. But now you look at these other nations. You got to work for it. You got to work 2 jobs to make sure you can pay your light bill, your water bill, to pay your rent, to pay for a car. You see what I'm saying? With God, you didn't have to do that because God gave it all to us for serving him. Right. He had a covenant with us. Once we kept that covenant, he kept his end of the bargain too. But since we didn't, he said, you know what? Go serve these other nations. Because we wanted to be like them already. We wanted to follow their ways. We follow their Christmas, their 4th of July. What's coming up? Christmas, Thanksgiving, Labor Day. We follow all this stuff. So God said, you know what? You want to follow them? Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and let them give you everything that you want, and it's not gonna taste good no more. Go ahead.
And in what of all things?
So everything that you want, you got to get it from them. If I want an education, who do I go to?
Education.
Okay, who runs the education department?
The law.
The law. Well, you know what it is. You know what it is. We got the projects in the hood, right? You got the projects. Who set up those projects?
The law.
The white man set up them projects, right?
Yes, sir.
It's called the projects for a reason. When you set up a group of people that's already impoverished, they lack food, they lack water, they lack basic resources, you set them in a box. What are they going to do? They're going to kill each other to make sure that their families are fed.
Right.
It's going to be chaotic. You're going to see all the things the Bible was talking about. Killing, stealing, murder. You have people that's depressed because they don't have food. They have low self-esteem because they don't have no money. You put them people together in a box, in a project, in the ghetto, they're going to devour each other. They understood that. So God said they set those people over us because we broke his commandments. So how do we separate from that? We cannot separate from the bills that we have to pay. We still got to pay them. There's no infrastructure that we're gonna build that's gonna keep us separated from them. So how do we separate? Go to Revelation 18. 18 and what is that, verse 4? So we can't separate from them physically, but we can spiritually separate from them. That's the separation that we need. The unity has to be unified or separating from these other nations. Read that.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin.
So God says the Israelites must come out of the ways of America, that we be not partakers of her sins. What are the sins of America? Y'all know what are some of the sins of America? What are some of the things that they push heavily?
Bring it out! Liquor. Nope.
Huh? Drugs, alcohol, getting drunk, because alcohol isn't a sin, but getting drunk is.
LGBT.
White folks love partying. Guess what? Black folks love partying, getting drunk, getting high, not being sober. What else?
LGBT.
Homosexuality. They push that heavy in the school systems. They teach your children that they don't understand their gender. They must decide on their own. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Any of y'all want y'all children learning that?
Nope.
But us as a people, because we feel inferior, we feel like we don't know anything, we bow down to what they say. We assimilate. And we say, you know what? It's not that bad. People can live their life the way they want to live it.
To each his own.
To each his own. And then they slide in this white Jesus here with a nice smile and say, God loves everybody. God hates the sin and not the sinner. They say all these things to pacify you and make everything that they do that's evil sound good. Go to Isaiah 5 and 20 real quick. Hold there, go to Isaiah 5 and 20. So they make everything that they do that's evil sound good. These are the things that they push. These are the ways of America. They teach that fornication is okay, that having open relationships, y'all know what open relationships are? Anybody can sleep around. They teach you that you don't have to get married if you don't want to. They teach black men and black women that you don't have to get married, that you don't need a man in the household. They teach you 50-50 in a marriage. Is a marriage 50-50? Is it supposed to be 50-50? Let's say it this way. Does God want marriage to be 50-50?
No.
So what's the order of marriage?
Honey.
On whose side?
The man. All labor.
So the man all day. You agree with that, bro? You don't agree with that? What about you?
I mean, 100, but it ain't 50-50.
So what's it going to be? If it ain't 50-50, what is it?
It ain't 100.
It ain't 100? What do y'all say right here? Marriage and the marriage. Should it be 50-50?
When y'all came together, you came once. So it was like...
So it's no 50. Y'all just share responsibility. All right. We're going to deal with that in a second. All right, let's read this real quick.
Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good.
So God says, destruction unto them, America, who calls evil good, meaning they call homosexuality okay. They call fornication okay. They call all these things they push in America, they call it okay. Things that are against God's commandments, they say it's okay because God will just forgive you. Go ahead.
And good evil.
They call us. Have y'all anybody familiar with our organization or familiar with Israelites? They say Israelites are hate groups. They call us identity extremists, radicals, right? They call us all these things that are evil. We're teaching our people who they are according to the Bible, how to raise up from a lower state. But they call what's good, they call it evil. They call us teaching the women to put on a dress and not pants. They say it's evil. You're judging them. They tell us that we can't tell the men to pull up their pants. Stop sleeping around. They call us judgmental. So they call what's good, they call it evil. Go ahead.
That put darkness for light.
So the ways of America are darkness, but the light is what we teach. The laws of God is the light. Go ahead.
And light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet. And sweet for better.
Right, so these other nations, they teach you everything that is evil. They're not going to teach you what's good.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.